Okay, introduction. What does this image remind you of? This isn't a Rorschach test or anything, but what does it make you think of? Maybe you're wondering what the image in the background is. Maybe you're wondering what King Gizzard has to do with this. Maybe you're wondering why the 21 kid is talking to Brian Griffin. 2 out of 3 questions will be answered, but first, I have to explain some history of many musical artists because it's an episode of This Is the Joke, and that's literally the whole point of this series. Black Country New Road is an English post-punk band formed in 2015, consisting of Isaac Wood, Tyler Hyde, Lewis Evans, Gloria Ellery, May Kershaw, Charlie Wayne, Connor Brown, and Johnny Pike at the time. In 2017, they recorded a full-length album called Zach's Anniversary, which has yet to be released and has not confirmed to be ever released. After multiple allegations of Connor Brown being guilty of sexual assault, he and Johnny Pike left the band in 2018. In 2019, the remaining members of the band released their first single, named Athens, France, after getting signed to Speedy Wonderground. Between the release of their first and second single, they recruited their now 7th member, Luke Mark. Afterwards, they released their single, Sunglasses, also in 2019. In 2020, they announced the release of their debut album, For the First Time, featuring the 2 previously mentioned songs along with 4 more. Pay attention to this album cover, it'll be brought up later. Black Midi is a post-punk/prog rock band formed in England in 2017, consisting of Geordie Greep, Cameron Picton, Morgan Simpson, and Matt, word I can't pronounce, Kelvin. In 2018, Black Midi released their first single, BM BM BM, pronounced Boom Boom Boom, probably because insert a clip here, on Speedy Wonderground, much like Black Country New Road did with their first single. Later that year, they did a live performance on the Seattle radio station KEXP, in which they performed 5 songs, 4 of which were untitled except the already mentioned BM BM BM, which created hype for their debut album. After the performance, they would release 2 singles named Talking Heads and Crow's Perch, both in 2019. Later that year, they released their highly anticipated debut album, Schlagenheim, which gained massive critical acclaim. Afterwards, in 2020, they released a physical copy of their songs 7-Eleven and Sweater. In 2021, Matt announced that he'd be taking an indefinite hiatus from the band and has not announced when he'll return. Later in 2021, Black Midi would release 3 singles called John L., Conjure Malaysia Patella, and Slow, all of which would appear on their second album, Cavalcade. Since that album has released, Geordie Greep has said that their third album's writing and recording stages have been finished and will be coming out within the next 6 months, as of now. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard is a psychedelic rock/prog rock band from Australia, formed in 2010, consisting of Stu McKenzie, Joey Walker, Cook Craig, Ambrose Kenny Smith, Lucas Harwood, Michael Kavanagh, and Eric Moore at the time. In 2010, they released 2 singles, named Sleep/Summer and Hey There/Ants and Bats, and were distributed by the band themselves. Later in 2011, they had their first official release, an EP named Willoughby's Beach. A bit later, in 2012, they released their first full-length album named 12 Bar Brews, which had a garage rock sound. After releasing 4 albums, the band came out with their album I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, a psychedelic garage rock album that many fans say is when King Gizzard found their signature sound. After a couple more albums, in 2016 they released their album Nonagon Infinity, which garnered international popularity. Afterwards, in 2017, they did their infamous 5-album run, consisting of Flying Microtonal Banana, Murder of the Universe, Sketches of Brunswick East, Polygon Dwanaland, and Gumboot Soup, each having a different genre. Unfortunately, in 2020, Eric Moore announced that he'd be stepping down from the band as their drummer and manager. Now in 2021, they've announced that they'd be releasing 3 albums, but they've said that they've finished 2, so that 3-album number isn't final.